If Woody had gone right to the police, this would never have happened.
Uh-oh.
So there are liberties being taken. Like, there's going to be an increased amount of shit talk.
Well, thank God you're with your core counsel.
Yeah, got my shit. I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
Catch one with a little bit of attitude, big guy.
Man, you champion son.
It's a kangaroo court.
How is the NFL a kangaroo court?
Could you please let me explain why?
No, I don't want to hear this garbage. Give me an answer to the questions I asked you.
What the fuck are we doing? You represent something bigger than yourself.
Come on, baby!
Let's go,
Buffalo. Talk to you later.
They are fucking let Undertaker.
I hate it. I'm out.
For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollo's, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.
Hello, and thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Third Manageable Podcast here only on the Do Champions Media Network. I am one of your co-hosts, Pat Bruknis. You can find me on Twitter at Pat_Bruknis. And to my left, probably your right, is Matt Diegert. You can find him at Twitter at Matt Diegert. And to the middle of us, brushing his beard, is Student Body Right. You can find him on Twitter at StudentBodyRG.
Please don't find me.
Yeah. The boys are back. The Bills are back tomorrow, fellas. How you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad, Pat. How are you?
He got it without stammering. He's got his big boy voice on tonight, man.
Yeah. He's with the big boys now. He's got to have the big boy pants on. So
yeah.
Definitely doing a good job, Pat.
We're sponsored by real people, not Nightmare energy drinks. That being said, welcome to the Third and Manageable Podcast. Like my cohort said, I am Student Body Right. We got a lot to cover. We got a lot of energy to get out because we're not playing a 1 p.m. game tomorrow. We are playing a primetime game, 8:25 p.m. Orchard Park, New York, the final season in Highmark Stadium. And we're met with a matchup we are all too familiar seeing. Some have gone our ways, some haven't. But I will tell you, with a 25-3 record for primetime games in the last 28 games, yeah, that's good math. 25 plus. Yeah, games. The Buffalo Bills are in prime time in a matchup that came down to a 2-point conversion. Listen, you got a lot of options when it comes to your Bills coverage. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my ball bag for tuning in with us. Guys, we got a lot to get to. Let me start here real quick off the script. I kind of wish it was a 1 p.m. just for the nerves right now. Maddie, I feel he's off. 1 p.m. can't come soon enough. 4:30 p.m. can't come soon enough. But that 8:25 is what we have circled, starred, and delivered. Where's your energy at, Big Cat?
Right now, the night before, it's probably as low as it's been for a season opener in a while because I truly do think.
Bud? What's going on?
No, I truly do think that it's hard for me to get up for this game because, not that I don't think it doesn't matter, because I do, but I think I have them losing this game, and it's going to be a learning experience for them for the rest of the season, more than anything else. I just think that there's too much. Yeah, we'll get into the game preview and everything like that here in a little bit.
He comes in and he doesn't even give us the bun or the relish. He just gives us the hot dog and jams it down our fucking throats. Okay,
and that's Third Manageable. Have a good night.
I gotta remove him. Anyway, what the fuck was that, Pat? Jesus. So take us to our next talking point. Where are we going with this? Oh, he can't be in the middle. I know, that's so much better. Fucking come with the King boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
All right, Pat, take us through this podcast. We spent a little bit of time doing this call sheet. Navigate us on this journey. What do you want to talk about first, big dog?
Yeah, the first thing we're going to talk about is the Thursday night game, which was the ring ceremony night for the Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, they had a long rain delay, so we don't need to spend that much time on it. But what are your guys' overall thoughts on that game? And obviously, Jalen Carter spitting on Dak. Dak obviously spit at him first. So, what are you guys' opinions on that?
Not bodily fluids, I'll tell you that.
Honestly,
Matt, you want to go
ahead.
first?
I'll take it first. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Dude, I thought it was a new blueprint for the Chargers. I mean, it kind of felt like a little deja vu in 2024.
Well, wrong game.
Wrong game.
Thursday night game.
Cowboys.
Eagles Cowboys.
Fuck that. Fuck those implications. Let's talk about teams that matter.
We will in a second. But the Cowboys and Eagles was a really good game leading up until that rain delay, and then nothing happened after, and that's pretty much it. And there's nothing more to talk about.
Yeah,
Eagles are 1-0. Cowboys are 0-1.
You know how hard it is. You play ball. How hard it is to stop and restart. To get that body going.
One of the hardest things you can do. Like I think of it. I experienced it one time in my 4 years of playing. I mean, it horrible. In terms of the implications, I put out a tweet. It was a pretty balanced tweet about just what went on there. But I can tell you what went on shouldn't have gone on. Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just no place in that. And if I could tell a quick story, one of the most eye-opening things that shouldn't have been eye-opening is I kind of threw a punch once in college. And my defensive coordinator came over to me. He's like, "Hey, dum-dum. Guys, you threw a punch with someone wearing a helmet? You're dumb. Control your emotions." And I just think that has no place in the game. It was really telling, I think, in some of my Twitter replies where people thought I was taking a side. There is no side when that shit happens. It's not good for the game.
Right.
Right. It goes against Article 13 with sportsmanship and stuff like that. And honestly, for the world stage, that shit just can't happen. It can't happen in Little League. It can't happen in JV. It can't happen in modified. It can't happen when you're a professional.
And that's the difference truly between the year suspensions. And Pat, I think I was the one telling you about this, about the year suspensions for gambling and 6-game suspension for somebody like a Rashee Rice.
Right. Yeah.
That's the difference between integrity of the game and integrity of yourself. You made that choice. That's you're dumb, just whatever. But if you're going to try and ruin our game, you're going to get a longer suspension.
Yeah, I hit up Teddy Control as soon as it happened. I'm like, "What do you make of this spitting crap? You watching Dak Prescott, Jalen Carter?" He goes, "The player who did the spitting should be given a very heavy fine and maybe a suspension. That's what we aim to disencourage. Totally awful, truly sickening. Not the league I tried to build." That's from Teddy Control. But by the way, analytics, I am sorry. We talked. Damn it. First podcast of the fucking year and I dropped it.
Almost.
No, I'll say this.
Almost.
A lot of people said Dak not spit first, but Dak spit at Jalen Carter's feet.
Why the fuck does it matter?
Disrespect.
It doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
I know you're not a big hockey fan, but usually it's the one that gets does the retaliating. It's not the one that
football too, right?
And Julie just nailed it. Spitgate, disgusting.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wish we could ignore it, but it has no place in the game. If we hold this game true to our hearts, at what point does that type of disrespect, the shields of brotherhood? I've never spit at, that's not true. I've never spit at my brother, but that's for my other podcast.
Let's be serious.
You can find on OnlyFans of the Bills.
Let's be serious. Spitting is different than spatting, right?
All right. Fine.
I'll say this about the game, though. The
That was good.
Philadelphia Eagles, I know it's the first game of the year. Obviously, I don't believe the starters played in the preseason, but I didn't like what I saw from the Eagles offense. Obviously, they set a good rushing attack, but a lot of them moving the ball is a lot of Saquon and a lot of their backup running back, Will Shipley, and Jalen Hurts using his legs. CeeDee Lamb had more drops than A.J. Brown had targets.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop that ball, I think Dallas wins that game.
So do I.
Yeah, well, if a certain tight end on the Ravens doesn't drop a 2-point conversion,
we still win.
Life's the game of inches, bro. Just is. So moving on. Can we talk Chiefs Chargers real quick?
Yes. Go ahead. That was the next thing we wanted to get into.
I got a little bit to say. You take it away first, Manny.
So I was just super excited to see that. I think that I personally think the Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs this year. I truly do. I think that the Broncos and the Chargers are better teams than the Chiefs, especially now that they lost their pretty much only offensive weapon in Xavier Worthy for probably a minimum of 3 weeks. Minimum.
Yeah.
They said that their game plan was built around Xavier Worthy. Andy Reid told that to one of the commentators, said their game plan was built around Xavier Worthy, and they lost him, and you saw what happened. They really got their way for almost 2.5 quarters. Finally, they got driving. Patrick Mahomes lowered his shoulder into a couple guys, as which I felt was a little bit of cheap shot-ish. Quarterback, gets pulled up on. You guys standing there, not wanting to take him, and he lowers his shoulder. Yes, he's the runner, but he also anytime he gets touched, he embellishes. So what are you supposed to do? That's almost as bad as Kenny Pickett with the fake slide. So that's what it comes down to. And I was just happy to see the Chargers didn't bumble it last night, and they allowed they played it looked like up to their ability for a game. So we'll definitely see how that lasts for the rest of the season.
I mean, when I look at the Chiefs and the Chargers game, like I said before, it felt like deja vu. Kind of like the 2024 Los Angeles Chargers that, they leaned heavy, on its running game, and it shifted dramatically. The Kansas City Chiefs, and kind of we'll get to later, is a little bit in my belly. The start was quiet, slow, unimpressive, undynamic, and it ended up appearing costly. I mean, a missed extra point, a failed 2-point try. Those are almost automaticas of which we've come to see. It kind of just highlights the game that, it's dynamic. It's not static. But also injuries, missed opportunities. I mean, they're already shorthanded. She Rice, he's banged up. I never assume Mahomes is in good health. Just maybe it's a little bit. Who is it? Walter Payton or Jim Brown, who always got up slow. Just to say,
I can't.
One of the who got to get up slow, so you never had a hint if he was hurting or not. I just got that aura that he was hurting, just like a touch. But momentum is not a myth, boys. It's truly not. Kind of what we touched on with the Eagles the Eagles Cowboys game. Momentum's not a myth, and to harness that as a weapon when you have it, and to protect it as a weapon. That's kind of the name of the game, because it does predicate a lot of things going your way when you have that, momentum. Also, my last point I want to make is depth isn't just, your roster size. It's culture. We say next man up, but the next man up has to be ready to scoop and score. You see 100%. You see a ball on the dance floor. You have to do everything up until that point to maximize that opportunity when given. So that's why when I say it, I really like to highlight it. Depth is not just roster size. It's a culture. Pat, go to you. What do you think? What are you left with?
From that game, before the season started, I was very critical on Justin Herbert in the clutch and in the big moments, because it always seems like he kind of shied away or he cracked under the pressure. What I saw from this Chargers team, especially from Justin Herbert, is he did not shy away from the big moment in this game. It looks like he was out to prove that he can beat Kansas City, because let's be real here. The Chiefs-Dolphins, to us, is the Chargers. The Chiefs always beat the Chargers. So now, what I saw from Justin Herbert, especially on that final drive, was he put the game in his own hands, something that like what Josh Allen would do, is he's going to do whatever he can to seal the game. And
Pat, real quick, not to interrupt you, but didn't you kind of feel like last year's Justin Herbert on that 3rd and 15, where he came around the end around Chris Jones? Don't you kind of feel like last year we would have saw him maybe take a sack there, or maybe like try and throw a ball away or something, or do something, and then the Chiefs come down? Now this year he literally kept it, saw what he was doing, ran around the outside there, and it picked up 19 yards and took the game.
No, you're right. So sometimes, like in those big moments, doing less is most likely doing more. Back then, Justin Herbert probably would have done too much. Where, as we saw on Friday, he did less and it came out being more and ended up sealing the game. So I agree with that. Then as far as the Chiefs go, Some Chiefs fans are gonna play the card of, it's the regular season, we don't matter. Bullshit. Because this is a division game, and your team is nowhere near as good as it was last year. And let's be real here about the Chiefs for a second. Last year, they were historically good in one possession games going into 2 years prior. So the last 2 years, they've been very good.
That's a fantastic point.
Games. Now, this year, we have already seen their own 1 and 1 score games already. Everybody knew they were due for a decline in those numbers because you cannot keep those numbers up. I don't care how good you are or who you are. And this was a division game, a game where you kind of needed to win. Sure, you were shorthanded with Xavier Worthy going out with 3 plays, and you're without Rashee Rice. But I don't want to hear the Rashee Rice excuse because the Chiefs were without Rashee Rice all of last year. And guess what? They still found a way to beat the Chargers last year when Rashee Rice went in the game.
I do want to bring up the other point too. You never want to. It's unfortunate for the Chargers they lost a home division game.
It's awful.
That's what this was. Is they were the home team and everything like that. But they found a way to win, and you got to win your home divisional games. I don't care if they're on the road or not, like at a neutral site or not. You have to win the home divisional games.
I think it's bogus that the Chiefs got a red zone when it's a Chargers home game. Like, why?
Are we talking about this?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Go ahead.
Let's not.
Yeah, please. Let's not. I don't. Really
Pat, give me the next one here. I'm going to take care of one thing. I just had Will text me. I might have some breaking news. So you guys take it over. Pat, give me the next one.
Yeah, the next one is the off the rack segment. I don't know if you want to play the graphic here.
No, I don't, because that's my segment. Okay, we'll go to off the rack. Hey, off the rack. Hit me up with it. Load it up. I got it. If you want it, off the rack.
Yep.
Off the rack, sponsored by Fat Boy Surf Club. If it's good enough for Alec Anderson, good enough for Spencer Brown, good enough for Ryan Vandermark. It's good enough for you. Hey, we're going to talk about a new little stitch, so to speak, in the uniforms. And you guys, what do we have here for the new edition here? And
yeah,
Josh,
so
will be wearing it.
So there's a couple of things. So this one specifically is going to be made for players who won NFL awards this year. So your Josh Allen, your Saquon Barkleys, they're going to wear a gold NFL patch or gold NFL logo emblem that goes in the middle of the jersey there, and everybody else wears the silver. So I mean that's what that one is. And then we also, first and foremost, how do we feel about that? That the first year that this happens, it's Josh Allen winning the MVP.
It's beautiful. It's so nice to see. It's nice to see that there's a way, like kind of like with the Walter Payton Man of the Year award, they wear the patch. It's nice that the reigning MVP now and Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year now has something to kind of like resemble. Like, hey, this is who I was last year. I'm trying to be this again. So I'm all for it. I love it.
Also, too, go ahead.
I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think it's cool. I really do think it's a cool little nod to the previous season. But it doesn't mean anything, going forward. The only thing I will say is I don't care, and I'm not getting any discussion. If I hear it from any Ravens fans, I hate it. This was not a Josh Allen pity MVP. This was not an MVP pity. Like, get out of here with that. Like, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. Huh?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Because last year, Lamar Jackson had 29 total touchdowns when Josh Allen had over 40. We had 41. And Josh Allen did not win MVP. Why? Due to his record and due to his interceptions. Now, that was okay for the Ravens fans then. But now we flipped the roles. Josh Allen has a few less touchdowns than Lamar Jackson. But Josh Allen has a better record and less turnovers. So why is it not okay now, but it was okay the year prior? And the year when Lamar Jackson won the MVP last year, Tyrod Taylor should have been an MVP too. He put up similar numbers in 2015.
Boys, I'm a capitalist at heart. This is just a play to sign, get New Jerseys going. What are we doing?
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, it's a nice nod. And what I always say is I don't have a patch, on my shirt or anything like that. Better to be a has-been than it never was. If you stay ready, you don't got to get ready. Don't talk about it, be about it. We know how we got. They can literally give him a cape, which he already wears every fucking Sunday.
Yeah.
I would buy that jersey.
So
I would buy the cape because he wears a cape. So, and also Josh cares more, which is interesting, cares more about the front, which the gold represents, versus the name on the back. So that is off the rack to pivot really quick. And keeping with Josh, off the rack, once again, sponsored by Fat Boy Surf Club. We saw him ink a deal with New Balance Athletics. Very old man move. I have been told that from the grave, my father, he preferred those as his grass cutting shoes. So he does sign with New Balance, but as I did tweet, they are not an improved on-field brand sponsor. He's going to have to cover that logo. That's just what it is. Now, I don't think we're at the stage where he's going to be defiant and have someone, take the fine. Who's the last person to take the
Jordan?
Oh, what was Jordan? I'm not versed on this. You know this.
So back in '85, when they came out with the Air Jordans, the colorful shoes were not allowed or so Nike actually picked up the $5,600 fine every single game that they had for this shoe. Good thing that they did. Good thing that they did, right? But I don't know what we're gonna see as far as Josh with the New Balance. But hey, whatever makes him comfortable, and he's going to be doing some grass cutting of his own.
That's one of the things I was going to say. Like, he's got to be supremely confident, and they offer performance. He's not chasing dollars and cents,
Right.
So,
right.
I don't know. Currently, right now, the only approved on-field sponsors: Nike, Adidas. Any guesses? The last one?
Under Armour.
You must protect this house. It is Under Armour. Once again, that is off the rack, sponsored by Fat Boy Surf Club. Hey, not Fat Boy Pat. What are we talking about next?
Yeah. Next, we'll be talking about what the Buffalo Bills are going to be wearing on Sunday night. They'll be wearing their blue jerseys with their blue pants and their blue socks.
And what else are they wearing? What else is on those jerseys?
The farewell patch is not going to be on their pat. It's going to be on their chest. I think that's really cool. It's a nice way to honor, the Ralph.
It's called Highmark Stadium.
I'm sorry, Rich Stadium, Ralph.
There's probably some people that still call Salem's Field Pilot Field, which I think is kind of very cool. But I want to see that patch deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Off the rack, we like to delve into new helmets. We like to delve into new equipment tweaks that you should care about. I think this falls into the limitless pit of things we don't care about, but there are things we do care about. Getting to this game, Pat, and I believe the Bills' week of practice. You practice as hard as you want. You prepare as hard as you can. They're gonna be, I believe, some injuries. So if you guys want to go over that, by the way, Joe Marino and Dr. Kyle Trimble, I don't know if you guys caught Locked On Bills this week. Shout out Dr. Kyle Trimble. He's been on this podcast many times. He dives into such broken down, palatable nuance of what is a long-term concern versus a game time scratch. So let's get into that, boys.
Yeah, let's start with Keon Coleman. Recently on Wednesday, he had a groin flare-up that he's been dealing with all of training camp, but he has been a full participant the last 2 days, and seems like he's good to go. So there's nothing to worry about as well on that.
Yeah, I mean, he even said he had a flare-up when they asked him about it. It was something from earlier in the off season, and it flared up, and they were just being overly cautious about it. And I'm perfectly fine before the season starts that they're being overly cautious with some of these things, because like I've said a few times now, it was one of my favorite quotes I've heard on the radio driving back and forth to Niagara Falls every day. It literally is, you cannot win a Super Bowl in August, but you can lose one.
Yes.
Who said that?
Just some radio host I was listening to on the way to work.
Yeah,
I can't remember who it was.
No free shout outs. Yeah, man. To win it. To win in the NFL, you have to have a little bit of luck. You have to get hot when it matters, and you have to be healthy. I heard a very Neanderthal take from somebody on terrestrial radio, 5:50 a.m. But that this game really doesn't matter that much.
Yeah, it does matter.
What
It
in
does
what
matter.
world are we able to compartmentalize that? Hey, we're not going to be humming like we are going to be, in early December. Yeah, but every game matters. Truly, I think when you tell me week 1, this doesn't matter that much. That leads to the underbelly of fear if we're not who we think we are. That's almost like an emotional outright hedge to say.
Right.
Matt, you agree?
I do. I think that this game, even though I said earlier that it's, it's going to be more like what I think is going to be more of a learning experience. It's still important in that sense. It's important because how many games in the season? 17.
Yep.
It's not the NHL. It's not baseball. It's not basketball. There's not 72, 82, 162 games in a year. We have 17 of these. That's it. And then you have to make the most out of every single one of them. Obviously, if they don't win, they're 0-1, move on to the next week. Whatever. Like, I get it. But to say this game does not matter, it matters immensely to the players. It matters to the fans. It matters to anybody. It should matter.
We got a great comment here from Julie. How serious is the Bass injury? I can actually talk about this. I know Bass to have I believe I'm not a doctor. I believe a lower metacarpal lingering fracture in his foot that he's been dealing with.
No, it's his groin. It's his groin. Has nothing to do with the foot. It's his groin.
Oh, sweetheart, let me make you a fool right now. When you are overcompensating one leg over the other, it puts your body out of physical, not necessarily circadian rhythm, but bodily rhythm. You start making unnatural movements. And if you don't think the basis of where he plants connects with the football, has anything to do with the moving parts of where he's driving his most force from his groin injury, I think they're completely in synergy together.
They could be.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. That's a question for a doctor. And if you're if you find you're unwell, help will be there in a hurry. But in terms of like injuries, to quote Dr. Kyle Trimble, this has been a total suckfest for that guy, but he's great. We're not dealing with a parabolic upshift in injuries. We don't have a ton. It just so happens that there is so much enthusiasm and so much neurotic nervousness of what could derail us.
Yeah.
That people are highlighting that. Pat, what do you think about that? That it is statistically in line that we are not dealing with any more injuries than most NFL franchises. It's just there's a higher predication on the implications because of all of what we could be.
Right, a lot of Bills fans want to say, "Oh yeah, Tyler Bass is out. Oh no, we should be worried. What if it comes down to a game-winning field goal, hypothetically?" But I know we'll talk about it later. But the Bills did sign Matthew Prater out for that. But
I think he's going to be the oldest Buffalo Bill ever suiting up at 41 years old.
Yep.
Yeah,
he is.
Wait, is he actually? Oh
yep.
gosh.
Yeah, it's not Mitch Morris. He just acted like it.
Well, hopefully, hopefully plays until he's 42, 43. Now, I do want to say though, do you think playing in that final preseason game against Tampa Bay kind of re-aggravated this Tyler Bass injury?
No.
He did go out there 4 or 5 times.
No, I don't think it did. And honestly, I think that if anything, it helped them to determine how injured he is and whether they needed to put him on IR or not, or how he felt, because he needed to get in-game action, just like anybody else. Get in-game action, have the full pass or the full kick team come at you and block kicks and kick the ball for on kickoffs and stuff like that. So I think that it helped them to determine that he needed to go on IR, which I'd rather have him later in the season.
So would I. He was perfect down the stretch last year for us.
He was, and it all started with that 60-plus yard field goal because confidence is everything. As A. Will says, if you don't got confidence, Matt,
you got nothing.
You got nothing. So moving on, it was encouraging to see that the guy who demands you to respect every blade of grass. Who am I talking about, Matt?
Terrell Bernard, Matt Milano,
and not who I thought you were.
Lamar Jackson.
It'd be Khalil Shakir.
It's Khalil Shakir.
He'd be. God damn it. He was a full market participant in practice this week. No color designation to speak of in terms of what was presented from the Bills beat reporters. He is a full stretch, good to go. He is an integral full stretch player who can extend the field vertically, as well as being a complete Dennis the Menace in
horizontally
the under routes. Yeah. Oh, horizontally. Yeah.
Let's talk about a guy who's going to shut down one half of the field, and that's Christian Benford. He seems good to go. He's been dealing with a groin injury. He has been a full participant in practice the last 2 days, so meaning Thursday and Friday, which it is a sigh of relief to have Christian Benford out on the field.
Yeah, it's definitely to have one of the starting guys there is definitely a sigh of relief in the end, because to have a White out potentially, to have Maxwell Harrison on IR, to have two basically Jamarcus Ingram and Dorian Strong being your starting corners does scare you a little bit against a Lamar Jackson-led defense. But speaking of injuries, we don't have to deal with Isaiah Likely or Patrick Ricard. So, those couple of things are going to help out on the Bills side of things, on the defensive side of the ball for the Bills as well. Because Patrick Ricard really is going to allow them to, figure out what they're doing. You're probably going to see a little bit more RPO from Lamar Jackson to keep the ball in his hands rather than letting Ricard block for Derrick Henry. But I fully expect the Bills to be ready for that.
My buddy Pat Deneke coached him. He's been on this podcast. Shout out Pat Deneke. He's a offensive coordinator right now at the College of the Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts. He coached him at the University of Maine. He was a defensive lineman there. Patrick Ricard, he's one of the only other people that I could allocate playing what we allocate as a full roster spot to a fullback. We're one of the only teams that does it with Reggie Gilliam. But he does so much more. He has this aura about him where if he's on, he can make things extremely, extremely challenging to defend. Now, when it comes to defending, to pivot right to this game and get off injury, I have deep concerns about Strong and Bishop lining up at the crown in the safety. Matt, the reason I say that is you have a first ballot Hall of Fame Clydesdale horse. Pat, just so you know, picture the Bud Light commercials back in the day, when those big horsies, they were toting around fucking beer carriages. That is what Derrick Henry is, except he fucking moves at a sub 4.5 rate.
Yeah.
We've leaned into stacking 8 in the box. We already play small at linebacker. You have to remember, Terrell Bernard plays at a sub 250 pound rate. I think he mimight tip the scale. I don't know, Matt. What, 240?
Yeah, 248, 241.
That's a strong departure from Terrell Edmonds, who tipped the scale damn near close to 260. So we're playing small there. Also, we largely integrate nickel personnel, which will be subbing out a will linebacker in lieu of Taron Johnson to get a little smaller. So we're light in the box. Let me finish. We're light in the box. So if we stay light in the box, that mandates our 2 high safeties, being Dorian Strong, Cole Bishop, to play the alley almost perfect.
Taylor Rapp is the other safety.
Sorry, Rapp and Strong. I apologize. That mandates them to fill the alley almost perfectly if we're going to stay light in the box. That's a little bit of a concern to me. Now, to pivot there, that is clearly my pit. That is my pit in what could go wrong, which brings us to our next segment, the peak and the pit. I go right to Matt Diegert. Matt, what is the peak of performance we have to ascend to, and what's the pit in your stomach of which you fear might happen? I clearly address the pit in my stomach. What's your peak in the pit, bud?
Honestly, my the safety room is probably my pit. With Rapp and Bishop, because we haven't seen what it is, and that's on a minute scale. On the whole scale, it's the secondary, because you have literally Christian Benford, who we know is going to shut down that other side. How are they going to shut down a DeAndre Hopkins on the other side? How are they going to shut down a Mark Andrews? How are they going to shut down guys like that, a Rashad Bateman, that are not on the other side, like when they're on the other side away from Christian Benford? But I will say, we didn't have Matt Milano last year. We didn't have Terrell Bernard last year playing in that game in the regular season, and we did have them in the playoffs. So, I'm definitely excited to see, because the Bills and under Sean McDermott, not a Sean McDermott defense, but under Sean
fucking rip your throat out.
Under Sean McDermott, Derrick Henry has only rushed twice for over 100 yards.
And one of those was a very large ripoff.
Two of them.
Yeah.
Two games. Games. The one he only had, if you take that, Pat and I were talking about this the other day. It's not a good number, but they were still at 5.1 yards per carry, compared to 8.3. Whenever if you take that 84 yard run out of the equation, from last year. Then a couple of years ago in that Monday Night Football game where Derrick Henry had, I think it was 143 yards or something like that. I'd have to go back and look the exact number. Yeah. But if you take that out of there, that his 80-yard run again that should have been called back, not touching that. But when that stands and you take that out of there, you're talking under 70 yards. So if they can keep them from having that big play from Derrick Henry, they should be able to keep him contained. And now you have Terrell Bernard, you have Matt Milano, you have somebody who could potentially come in and play, if they use him this way, is Shaq Thompson playing big nickel to be able to come and make some of those tackles. So we'll see what happens.
Pat, you just named your pit. Give me the peak, buddy. This is the peak of the pit, sponsored by Fubo TV.
You want mine? Peak?
I want the peak.
My peak is going to be the offensive side of the ball. I think I think the offense is going to come in humming, because they have seen what they have done in previous years. I think that last year they were slow because they had Keon Coleman, brand new, Mac Hollins, brand new, Dalton Kincaid only in his second year. I think that now with the other, now you have, Elijah Moore, you have Joshua Palmer, you have Khalil Shakir, you have Kincaid, you have Kincaid now in year 3. You have Coleman in year 2, and he's been working with Josh all offseason. I think that they're gonna take off, and it's gonna start early.
All right, and that is the peak of the pit. That's and we're going right to Pat Bruknis. The peak in the pit, sponsored by Fubo TV. What is the peak of which we have to ascend to all but guarantee victory? What is the pit in your stomach where that goes awry?
Mine kind of contradict each other a little bit, but bear with me. So my pit is not being able to stop the run, and then the Ravens being able to, run play action off that, because we're going to key in on the run, and they're going to have, the pass wide open. Now, because that's something that we saw last year. Again, we were without a Matt Milano, Terrell Bernard, and a Taron Johnson. But like Matt said, we do have them this week, and I don't see a world where Derrick Henry is able to run all over us, because like Matt said, he has not been able to do that. Sure, he has had some nice big runs against us, but it does seem like whenever Derrick Henry doesn't rush under 100 yards and he's in that like 70 to 90 rushing yards range, it's always because of one big run. It seems like every time we play Derrick Henry, he has one run that kind of sets him up to have a chance to go over 100. Now, I do think we will limit that. I think we will limit Baltimore's rushing attack, especially with Patrick Ricard being out. But my pit would be not being able to stop the run, and then the Ravens successfully being able to run play action off of that to open up the passing game. Now, my peak is I think this Buffalo Bills defensive line is going to have an impact on this game early. We know that Brandon Beane has made an emphasis on really, revamping this defensive line with guys like Deion Walker, who could have been a first-round talent if he would have came out 2 years
Deion
ago.
Walker.
Yep. TJ Sanders, which is a guy that we traded up 18 spots for. When Brandon Beane trades up that when a GM wants him, they trade up that many spots, especially in the second round. It was kind of pricey. They definitely saw something in TJ Sanders.
Yeah, both those defensive tackles he traded up for to get because he wanted both of them.
Yes. And Joey Bosa, we signed him. I think if Joey Bosa stays healthy, he is what we thought Von Miller was going to be for us. Yes, it is on a 1-year deal, and we do got to, limit him due to his, injury history, but we do run the heaviest rotation on the defensive line, so I don't see that being much of an issue. But I think that my peak is definitely this Buffalo Bills defensive line will have an impact on this game. And if they do, I'm not going to say it can get ugly. I don't think we'll get a
Am I hearing a dog in the background?
That's not mine for once.
That's Alec Anderson.
Is that Alec Anderson's music?
Who let the dogs out?
What? Speaking of dogs, you know who's not a dog? Shiloh Sanders.
From what got cut from the Browns. Like, no disrespect to the Browns, but if you get cut from the Browns, man, it's probably Toronto Argonauts for you after that. I mean, it's just not many teams worse than that Browns roster.
Matt, it's probably
curtains.
It's probably curtains. Shout out to Whittle. That's the Coast to Coast podcast. You can find them on Wednesday with Beyond 716 and Whittle 2K.
Hey. Announcing the
Are you now barking? Are you barking at me now too?
Yeah, it's the almighty Widow 2K.
That's fair dues. Fair dues. Pat, what do you got for us next here? Now that we covered the peak and the pit.
Yes, next we will be going over, what exactly does the Buffalo Bills defense have to do to contain the Ravens rushing offense?
No, I'll take that first.
Okay.
Keep everything in front of you.
That's well said.
Yeah,
everything's got to be in front of you. It's a dumb adage, bend don't break. But
it works. It worked for us last year in the playoffs. I mean,
when you break against Derrick Henry, it turns to 7 real quick.
Yeah,
everything's got to be in front of you. You have to be disciplined to stay within force. Force. When I talk about force, I might learn something today. Force is predicated on backer force, cloud force, sky force. Backer force meaning that the linebacker to the play side has to turn everything inside for his teammates. Sky force meaning that the rock down safety has to come in and turn everything inside. And cloud force, who do you think that is? The corner and all things. So when you think about force, it's all predicated the same way. Backer force, linebacker. Sky force, S for safety. Cloud force, the cloud. They have to maintain gap integrity. Guys, I hope this isn't punchy. I think this D-line is going to have no problems maintaining gap integrity. I think it is a robust rotation of keeping fresh legs in there and powerful arms. One of the things that Matt and I love talking about is the big cat swat. The big cat swat is disrupting throwing lanes. The difference of a paw up in the air might be fractional in terms of seconds, might be a half second, might be a quarter second. That is enough time for corners like Christian Bedford or a guy like Matt Milano, who I still, of the volition of, he covers more east-west lateral ground than anybody I've seen play. So that's why the big cat paw means a ton. The RPO concerns me. The RPO really concerns me. It concerns me because of the personnel they have. It's not a null threat if he hands the ball off to Derrick Henry, right? Especially if the corners and the safeties are playing passive and leaning into the pass coming. That means they're playing on the heels of the back pedal, or they're playing on a rotational sliding shift to cover a zone heavy defense, of which you might need to play with Lamar Jackson, dynamic players like Picard, like Andrews. The RPO really concerns me. Patty, what do you think about that RPO? Am I missing something? Am I smelling it wrong? Or do you think there's any gold leaf in my bronze opinion?
I definitely agree with you, but I will say that we saw Baltimore twice last year. So I do think when we saw them, for their final game of the year, not much is going to change from them. Now, yeah, sure, in the first game in the regular season, they were able to run the RPO and run the ball effectively all over us, all game. Now, again, we were without a Matt Milano, Taron Johnson, and Terrell Bernard. It's not like we had those guys out there and this was happening. We didn't. And then we saw it in the playoff game last year in the first half. Baltimore was not really moving the ball on us. And in the second half, it looks like we kind of took our foot off the gas, which we typically do. Then we obviously play a bend but don't break defense, but it didn't seem like we were being as physical in the second half of that game as we were in the first. And I can expect a similar approach to that is, we might come out aggressive, we get out to a lead, then we're going to let them move down the field. But as soon as they get to our half of the field, we're going to clamp down on it. So, but to answer your question though, yes, the RPO does concern me, but with guys like Patrick Ricard being out, I do think they are vulnerable now. Because Patrick Ricard is a focal point for them. Kind of like what I don't want to what a Dawson Knox blocking is for us. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So I think with having him out and with our newly revamped defensive line and with us being familiar with Baltimore, we've seen them twice last year, as I previously noted, I think we have a good chance of stopping it. And, Brandon Beane, Bobby Babbage, not Brandon Beane, Jesus, Sean McDermott, Bobby Babbage are going to be ready for it.
I would agree. I would absolutely agree with that.
God damn it. I agree.
So now,
what do we got
next?
What do we got next?
Yeah, move on. I don't want to give him too many flowers. That was really good.
On a clinic tag. How do the Bills contain Lamar Jackson without tipping their hand?
I think Julie said it best.
Yeah, you got
to How they do it without tipping their hand and what they're doing.
So I don't know if you blacked out for the last fucking 2 minutes, but it is force integrity. It is gap integrity. It is playing to your assignment. What's the point of practicing all week for a very dude, when you think about it, they've had 2.5, 3 weeks. It's not just learning roster spots. They're practicing for their opponent. We have a really big ramp up. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you what the schematic intricacies of a Bobby Babbage defense.
Sean McDermott scheme, though.
Anyway, this is the Third Manageable Podcast.
Pat's no longer on it.
Yeah.
I put Antonio Brown, I guess.
Yeah, Matt, get on the scale. Get off the scale.
Yeah, right. Josh Birnbaum.
No, Bobby Babbage defense, dude. It's. I'm not going to sit here and give you any inside information because I'm a talking head about the defensive intricacies. I just know that when you play assignment, when you play scheme, and when you play technique, the baseline of success has been written weeks ago.
Now, I'll say this. We have been good against containing mobile quarterbacks, guys like Jalen Hurts, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, who's now in our division, and Lamar Jackson. We've been good against mobile quarterbacks.
Jalen Hurts is not the mobile quarterback that Lamar is.
No, I know he's not. I'm just saying, we have done a good job.
Herbert's not the mobile quarterback. Josh is not.
Right.
What makes him so dynamically fucking different is he's dynamically different. One of the biggest nuisances in planning a successful defensive scheme is players like Lamar, who are dynamically different and don't fit a mold. I mean, he told a story recently on a podcast that when he was at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis, they asked if he wanted to do any running back drills. Nah,
nope.
fam. Maniacal
no wide receiver drills. No wide receiver, no running back, no nothing.
Matt, maniacal belief in self, of your own skill set and limitations and managing expectations. There are no expectations to limit with Lamar Jackson, and that's what makes him so dynamic. Hey, Jake, clip that.
Now, I'll say this, though. I agree with you. He's a very dynamic player, but we have been good against containing Lamar Jackson's legs. We did in the division round.
That's really good at containing his laughter right now.
We contained him last year in the biggest game of the year. We held him to under 55 rushing yards. So I don't think containing Lamar Jackson's legs is that hard for us. It's very hard to stop Lamar Jackson.
What are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
You don't think it's hard?
No,
Boy, you get winded going out and getting your mail, dude.
No, it's hard, but we're pretty good at
Fuck out of here.
Quarterbacks and containing Lamar Jackson.
It's hard for one of us to sit up here and say that.
I love that fucking Pat left for fucking built in Buffalo. Come on, that's the network built in Buffalo. He left for Built in Buffalo. We gave him a fucking uncoachable ball of fucking clay, and we got back somehow the Michelangelo with a smaller fucking pishkadil. Hey, I'm a lot of things you can't, Maddie. I'm a lot of things you can't tell me I'm not witty.
Most times, yes.
Let me ask you guys a question. We're deviating from the script right now. I got in a conversation today with one Dan Freddy. He's going live right now with Buffalo Fanbase. Shout out Dan Freddy. Great guy. Does a lot of philanthropic good events in your community, like Poncho's Army, who just wrapped up their cornhole tournament. Please keep an ear to the streets when it comes to anything Poncho signs their name to. We had a really big discussion about the embarrassment of riches when it comes to the red zone. Matt, what do I mean by that? The embarrassment of riches is who's the best 6 offensive lineman in the NFL? Alec Anderson. Who is one of the most dynamic tight ends that we constantly have a debate with? Is he a tight end or wide receiver?
Kincaid.
Who is just an absolute stalwart when it comes to end of line blocking, sealing off, and getting available when the play breaks down? He also plays tight end.
Dawson Knox.
Okay. Now, who is categorically one of the best high point jump ball wide receivers who played college basketball at Michigan State, who's also on our roster and wears number 0?
Keon Coleman.
Okay. All that being said, when we're in the red zone, does that cannibalize Keon Coleman's role? That we have so many different avenues to pursue with the 6th offensive lineman, best in the league, where we can play a trips set with Kincaid, Knox, and a Gillian. Also, we just locked up James Cook. Does that cannibalize the high point back corner end zone ball to Keon Coleman? Good question, right?
Yeah. Well, when you say cannibalize, do you mean like it's going to let him do it more, or do you think it's going to take it away from him?
Oh, you took the bait. Great call. I think if he starts out the season commanding the ball because of results delivered, that a 50-50 ball is never truly 50-50. It's 75-25 because he's going to go up and get that dang. That makes us deadly in the red zone. We're not talking about the tush push anymore. We're talking about, do we want the best 6 offensive linemen in the game? Do we want to run a crown trips formation with 3 tight ends? Or do we want to hand it off to a well-paid number 4 running back? Or do we want to let Josh play the cape? That is an embarrassment of riches, and I don't want Keon Coleman to get drowned out. Isn't that fucking nice to think about?
It is. It really is. But I mean, also on top of it too, I think it also could help him in that way, because they're taking things away from the offense. So they have to take Josh away. They have to take Knox away. They have to take Kincaid away. So if he starts putting it up to Keon Coleman in the back of the end zone, it's gonna,
and results are delivered.
It's gonna bring more to that credence of everybody eats.
Geez Louise, we're fucking, we're drinking Ace of Spades and drinking full body Coca-Colas if that happens.
Yeah, nice full body Coke, real good.
Shout out Greg Thompson. Guy, live a little, okay? We're pushing 40, okay? You can get the full. You don't got to always go Coke Zero. But you can go to number 0 in the back of the end zone. Thank you again.
I'm taking my one friendly fire here. Some of us are pushing 40. Some of us are not.
Some of us has more talent in their cuticles and their pinky finger than you will ever possess in your entire life. That being Keon Coleman. Pat, where are we going to next? Guide the show as I take it off the tracks.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the offensive side of things for the Bills. How do we expect Josh Allen to look with his new receivers, with him not having any preseason action with these receivers? The only action he's had with these receivers was in practice and in the joint scrimmage with the Bears.
I'll let you take this first, student.
Shut the fuck up. He has no that you saw. I know that Josh has workouts that were never captured on screen in the
No,
offseason.
That's what we're talking about, though. He's had no preseason action.
Preseason started when we did not make the Super Bowl. Preseason started when we signed Elijah Moore or Palmer. That's when Josh's preseason started. So just because we were not privy to every iota of information, I know the guy at the helm, and he would never let somebody on his team, if he can enact such influence to command synergy and tetheredness with somebody that he needs to depend on when plays break down. You know, Alec, when we talk to him, one of the greatest things about, and the most challenging things about being in with Josh is the play's never over. And you have to have that mindset. In order for the play to never be over, you got to need guys like Shakir. You need guys who are reliable, who can play a little bit of playground ball. So just because we haven't seen, quote unquote, preseason action with them, I do not subscribe to any of that bullshit that the foundation, that the wood to build the bridge of tetheredness hasn't been laid weeks ago, so much out of the public eye.
And I do agree with you to a point on that. However, what I really want to touch on is the fact that it's not at game speed. Like, so I'll
accept that.
I do wonder if it's going to be like, hey, 2-3 drives, maybe a quarter is going to be a little slower than, or is he just going to come out and, because they had the joint practice this year, they had all, the practices, they had, they had the knowledge of, hey, we're not going to play Josh this year, so let's get him as many reps as possible. So is that going to help? Is it going to help that he was able to kind of get with the guys and, get with the guys and kind of practice with them all through the off season? Do we think, and to answer Julie's question, I do think if they have him in the game and active, I think Elijah Moore will make an impact. I think the two guys you're going to look to in the middle, like we talked about last week, your 15 or your 12 to 20 yard passes are going to be your Josh Palmer area. Your maybe 5 to 12 yard is Elijah Moore. And then above that is also Elijah Moore. So, and then Keon Coleman, obviously throw him up a ball. He's going to go get it. He's going to go make a play on something. So, I mean, it just really depends on who they have active as far as that goes. But I do think Elijah Moore does make an impact for this team.
Now, speaking of impact and, talk about building continuity, let's talk a little bit about the offensive line. Do you expect the offensive line to have the same to continue their continuity from last year without missing a step? With the second year for David Edwards, who's our left guard, and obviously Connor McGovern, who's our center. And another year with Aaron Cromer.
I do. I do. I think that Aaron Cromer is going to have those guys ready to play. Eric Wood the other day on Twitter asked who's a fan. Put your hand up if you're a fan of Aaron Cromer.
You did it.
I didn't say he was a friend of the show. Oh, now I did. Oops. But
breaking, Matt.
What?
Who's a friend of the show?
Eric Wood.
That joke will never fucking get old to me.
No, absolutely not. But anyways,
continue on your diatribe.
With that being said, he said put a hand up if you're a fan of Aaron Cromer. Absolutely, 100%. Huge fan of him. He's one of the best offensive line coaches in the NFL. We were told that by Alec Anderson when we talked to him. We were told that by a lot of Vandermark when we talked to him. Chase Lunt talked to him. So I mean, it's just refreshing to see that the coaching, the coaching staff on this team, they have the trust of their players and they think they're some of the best in the league. So I really do think that the offensive line is going to continue on with that continuity throughout. So, hopefully they, knock on wood, they stay completely healthy all year and are able to continue moving forward. But that's why we talked about it earlier. You said it perfectly, Student. Depth is not what's behind your roster. It's the culture. They have these guys set up there to come in and next man up and be able to
I want to clip this. Say this again.
Depth is not
your roster. It's
depth
what
is not your roster. It's your culture. And they have the guys that are going to be able to step in and be next man up and go in if something were to happen. And that's the nice thing about having the continuity across the entire offensive line.
Good. Well said. Credit to me.
You guys are expecting, I agree with this, that the offensive line will look kind of
you'd
what
be
it did
killed
against
if you
the
didn't.
Ravens in the divisional round where it did not allow a sack.
Yeah.
I think pretty so.
I'm fucking champing at the fucking bit for Mike Hoyt.
Yeah, week 7 or week 8. Week 8, because we are by week 7.
I got it out. Champing at the bit for that motherfucker. Oh man, fresh legs, week 7. Who got it? Unfortunately.
Week 8.
Sweetheart. It could be fucking week fucking 7.25. That dog is ready to fucking run.
Yeah.
Larry Ogunjobi too.
Yeah.
Not Harrison.
Now, speaking of that,
fucking damn it.
I know we are an everyone eats mentality, but do we expect to see specific targets to certain players in certain situations?
Great question, Maddie. You take that one. Great question.
Is everyone eats still?
I still think it's going to be an everyone eats mentality. I think that they have skill set throughout the whole wide receiver room and tight end room that fill a certain characteristic that they're going to need on the field, and Josh is just going to find the guy that's open. I mean, that's basically what everything is with the Joe Brady offense: is find the open guy and get it out of your hands as quickly as possible. And if he holds on to it any longer than that, Josh is probably going to make something special happen.
No, I agree, and that's one thing I love about the Joe Brady.
No, Maddie, well said.
Get the ball out of Josh Allen's hands and let your playmakers make plays. And that's
Nah. Josh, everybody eats. You decide who gets the fucking breastbone. You decide who gets the chicken leg. Because everybody eats is predicated that 1 week it could be yams and steamed broccoli. The next week, it could be fucking potatoes, mash, champagne, bottles and models. I trust that Josh can dissect, delineate, and allocate. I know those are a lot of big words, Pat. Yeah, who deserves the ball in what situation? That's why I want to see Keon just get one, start it off right. Because, Matt, you know better than anybody else, just because you can make the throw
doesn't mean you should.
Doesn't mean you should. Pat, you know what we mean by that?
Yeah, all because you can do it doesn't mean you have to do it.
Okay, motherfucker. I'll give you another try. You're not built in Buffalo anymore. Okay, I'm not going to let you pass on that. What does that mean? Just because you can make the throw doesn't mean you should. It's about game management.
Right.
It's about living to see another play when it's not there. It's about understanding what's in your fucking tool belt. It's about knowing when to slide. It's about knowing when to press the first down marker. It's about knowing when to take calculated risk versus the return of which you should see.
It's honestly, it's about when you put the cape on and when you leave it off and be Clark Kent.
Fucking said, Maddie. It's about seeking alpha. Alpha means the penultimate returns when it comes to Black-Scholes modeling. I'll interject some math here, okay? You know, there's theta, time decay. Time decay of Josh is in his fucking prime. He can make any throw. He can make more throws than Lamar. He can make more throws than Pat Mahomes, Justin Herbert, your sister's ass, Jim Kelly. It's just
Brady on the couch on a Saturday.
Oh, I'm making all those throws in my underwear. You like that one, Pat?
Yeah, that was funny.
I am no longer worried about Josh playing hero ball. I am invigorated of Josh being the hero. Sometimes, to quote Batman, and I don't watch movies, so stop me if I'm right. Something about living long enough, and sometimes you're the villain. If a game gets too out of hand and you have to be that big of a hero, the mistakes end up villainizing your performance.
Sometimes you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, and you don't want to do that. And sometimes that you gotta
unless you're winning multiple Super Bowls and you become a villain, then it's okay.
That's a good segue. I don't think, Matt, you're so interested. Hey, I want to appreciate all the 1,400 people listening. I implore you to start a family and live in a cul-de-sac because we have no nuanced opinions here. But we are not the media darlings anymore. Much like I believe the Lions are going to exit that designation of being the darlings, right?
Now it's the Commanders. That's all you hear about. Jaden Daniels and the Commanders.
And very quick, would you say that their window is closing? They do have the oldest roster in the NFL, obviously with a very young quarterback, but very old roster. Von Miller, Bobby Wagner. They have Samuel who's getting.
I think Brandon Beane owned the house. Josh Allen did the construction, and we're not dealing with Anderson single sliding windows that you throw an air conditioning unit in. We're dealing with floor to ceiling windows that they open whenever Josh wants, and he wants it so bad. I'm not a personal guy. I don't get into personal lives. I don't congratulate people on their fucking weddings and all that other shit. I think that's intrusive and fucking weird. But it's worth being said that I've never seen this fucking guy happier.
Yeah.
I've never seen a support system. I've never seen Deion Dawkins go out of his fucking way like this to uplift his teammates. I've never seen Jordan Phillips, a staunch, savvy veteran. I've heard Buffalo or nothing now from 3 people: Jordan Phillips, Jordan Poyer, and Trey White. Buffalo or nothing. That speaks to the fucking culture. That speaks to, from top to bottom, them empowering people to be themselves. Because when you can absolutely, wholeheartedly exist as the person you are, you can be the person you're supposed to be, whether mentally, physically, or spiritually. Like, I love the Hard Knocks thing that we touched on nothing but everything. Because, Matt, it's everything you need.
And nothing you don't.
Because that's what the culture is here.
Yeah. I mean, if I told you that you were going to have Bills players say this to you, or say this to the team, or say this to media 10 years ago, would you believe me?
No.
And that's the thing. People want to get rid of Sean McDermott. Like, blows my mind. Blows my mind. The second winningest coach since 2020. Blows my mind.
Super lazy, right?
It is. It's super
Who
lazy.
do you replace him with?
Oh!
Nobody has an answer.
That's it.
Let's pause for a moment here and think about what Pat just said. Who the fuck are you going to replace him with?
I have no answer.
The guy is about the brand, and the brand is beautiful. Yeah. Matt, you know what one of my favorite things to ask people of the elder years is, does this feel like the run? I asked Woody Ribbick that, longtime equipment manager for the Buffalo Bills. I asked Bud Carpenter that. I asked Jim Overdorf that. Once again, sorry.
We asked Jim Kelly at the bocce tournament.
Let me apologize.
We asked Jim at the bocce tournament. Is this their year?
For people that have gone through so much heartbreak and anxiety of watching the other shoe to drop, and then for them to drop that cloud over them and to see the silver lining and not the touch of gray, you got to learn. If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it. And there is so much joy. What a time to be alive, boys.
Yeah. Wait. Say it right. Say it right.
You want me to really go into it?
Say it right.
Yeah.
There was a quote that I've strongly tied to Matt and I's friendship. Matt and I have one of the most beautiful friendships ever. It's nice to hate someone so much, but love him so much more. And that's Matt for me. But What a time you chose to be alive. Now, when you think about that quote, what a time you chose to be alive. Like, you didn't choose for your parents to have a sex in a porta potty, in a preseason game, at the Ralph. You didn't choose that. But what a time you chose to be alive. When you think about it, you chose to be present and passionate about something bigger than yourself, to exist. So what a time you chose to be alive. I think that is such an adaptive analysis for what we are on the precipice of at 8:25 p.m. tomorrow, the final season at Highmark Stadium versus the Baltimore Ravens. What a time you chose to be alive.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And I am so excited for this season to get underway. I am so excited to see the way that this team is built this year, the way that the potential for the run that they can go on this year. I mean, just look at the schedule. Like Pat and I were talking about it today when we were putting the show together.
Breaking news.
Literally,
breaking news.
What's up? Go ahead.
Next Saturday, Scott Norwood. As we say, nothing but
illustrious guests.
And we pivot to the next segment. This segment's called Here's Why You Suck. It's by Sons of Erie, an art house based on your passions, invigorated through our passions. Sons of Erie, artwork that looks better on your walls. Hey, Matt, here's why you suck. You're too calm. I don't like when you're calm. I like you, at one end of the prison. Either a complete defeatist, like I'm going to trade in all my sports cars for a mid-size Hyundai Sonata, or fuck it, buy a teeny Lamborghini. Is that because you don't want to get too high off your own supply? And that is why you suck.
Yeah, honestly, just real quick, just to answer that, it's honestly, I think that I keep a level head right now with the profession I'm back in. It allows me, it allowed me to find my my zen, for lack of better terms, and keep that even keel. I'm sure tomorrow you call me at 5 o'clock, I'm going to be like
a fucking disaster. Yeah, when's the witching hour? When does the witching hour start? Because I think once the 4:30 games start, I've never hated a song more with the lyrics. Waiting all day for a song. Yeah, motherfucker, I am waiting all day.
You don't like that song? It's so catchy.
I don't like it when it has practical applications.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Literally, like 425 is a cool slot. Like I'm a big fan of primetime games, but like that noon tomorrow is going to hit. I'm going to be like, oh, we got football in an hour, not the Bills.
I'm telling you, man, it's big pharma. It's a ploy on Xanax. So I'll pivot to one of you two guys. Once again, this is the segment called This is the segment called Here's Why You Suck. This is where we just pick on each other. Not that we haven't been doing that all day. But which one you guys want to take? Let's pick apart one of these guys. Here's Why You Suck. Sponsored by Sons of Erie.
Go ahead. I guess I'll take it all today. Like, come on, bring it. Bring it on.
Yeah, off the top of my head.
Talk about his hair, Matt.
Here's why you suck.
Talk about Pat's hair. Talk about Pat's hair.
Take the hat off for a minute.
Do it. You won't.
He took it off. It's like it literally looks like he hopped in a chlorinated pool, and that's the way his hair came out.
That looks like the Slim Shady LP, but it's more like the pre-diabetic LP. That was so fucking mean.
A little bit.
Here's why I suck: is I decrement others to make myself feel better about myself. Pat, tell us why we suck.
All right. Where do I start here?
I feel like we got a Festivus list coming out.
Why we suck, Pat?
I'm just trying to think of something. Matt, you suck because you
Yo.
like Uncle Bester if you had a goatee.
Dude.
Okay.
Dude,
cool.
That was really good.
I've gotten Uncle Bester. I've gotten Mr. Clean. I fine, whatever.
No, you put me on the spot. I can't think of anything.
I have to remind myself I'm here willingly.
All right, student. You're Unk. That's all I got for now.
What does that even mean?
You're Unk. You're
Because I use condoms?
You're old. That's it.
Yeah, I told him I really don't drink that much anymore. And he's just like, really? I'm like, I'm just
Not that you know.
I'll be prepared next week for this Here's Why You Suck segment.
But yeah,
we
Pat,
give you enough robust intro. Let's right the ship here. Yeah, and we're gonna pivot to keys of victory because that's why we're all here, man. Game predictions. What do we think will happen? I'll take it first. What do we think will happen? I think I'm not getting up during commercials. I think I am going to consume every little bit of trying to figure out who the fuck we are and who I'm going to be watching for the next 18 weeks.
Yeah.
That is my game prediction. Does the score matter?
Tomorrow night, no.
No, it matters a lot because I think there's going to be such a small margin of victory. I might subscribe to the fact of whoever gets the ball last. That is my game time prediction. You're going to see two very well coached, very well prepared, and some of the best athletes that American football has to offer in prime time. That is my prediction. Bills by an annoying amount. Like 1.
Okay.
I you know what my prediction is? I am going to be on the post-game show annoyed that we won in the manner of which we did. That's my prediction. Matt, you're up next.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna see, like I've said all night, I think you're gonna see I think you're gonna see the Josh Allen offense. I think they're gonna start humming. I really think that they're going to start getting going early on in the first quarter. It may take a drive or two, but I think that they're going to continue what they built from last year. I think you have a happy James Cook now, and I think he's going to continue it ascending, and I think that starts tomorrow night. I think you're going to see some good defensive play from the defensive line, specifically from Deion Walker, TJ Sanders, Ed Oliver. I think that Joey Bosa is going to be very integral part of stopping Lamar Jackson. And I think you're going to see whoever starts at that second corner, I think is going to be put in good situations by this coaching staff to win. So they're not going to lose their confidence. And I think that I honestly, myself personally, I have it 27-24 Ravens.
And for me, what I expect to see come game time is two highly motivated teams. On the Ravens side, a team that wants to get that bad taste out of their mouth and try to avenge their loss for last year. Then on the Bills side of it, you want to see a team that's trying to get back to where they were last year, and that's in the AFC Championship and hopefully more. And there's a lot of motivation for the Bills side of things as well, with it being the final season opener at Highmark Stadium. And two teams that are very well coached, like you guys both have stated, two very physical teams, and two teams that want to take that next step. And Josh Allen, who's trying to get to his first Super Bowl, Lamar, who's trying to get into his first Super Bowl, and two teams that probably know they will see each other again, and two teams that want to get that first round bye and get that 1 seed. That is very important, and that's another reason why I think this game matters. If you win this game, you go up 2 on the other team. Like if Buffalo wins, they go up 2 on Baltimore with a tiebreaker, with a win obviously over them, then the tiebreaker obviously. So the game that just matters, and you're going to see it on. You can see a lot of physicality and two highly motivated teams.
And before we get to who we're talking to, I'm going to touch on the Dew champions. Go ahead. What was up, Pat?
And my score prediction is Bills 31-24.
All right, and before we get to who we're talking to,
are you guys gambling at all on this one?
Right there.
The Dew Champions Parlay. That's what I got pulled up right now.
This one's sponsored by FanDuel, the only sports book that should matter. This is a guy that flies under the radar when it terms of gambling. Maddie, what do you got for us? I might tail it. Let's do it.
So it's 5-leg parlay. James Cook 40 yards, over 40 yards. Derrick Henry 60 yards. Keon Coleman over 2.5 receptions. Joshua Palmer over 2.5 receptions. And I have a Josh Allen touchdown, anytime touchdown. It is a plus 12.24. So a $10 bet wins $122.
Is there anything you guys won't touch tomorrow? I'm not going to pick anything vanilla.
I won't touch anything.
Money lines, taking the points. It's just not. I'm not into the emotional hedge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do really like Josh in a game like this where he might have to wear the S on his chest and the carpet on his back. I do think he will find the testicular fortitude to find the end zone. Speaking of the end zone, fuck the fucking Bill Stampede. Oh, dude, it's one of those podcasts right now where I don't want to end it because then I'm
it's fun.
It's not fun. I'm left with my own thoughts.
That's what's fun about it.
Yeah. People are like, what are you doing tomorrow for the game? Like, I don't know. Jacking my heat up to 86, going shirtless and just sweating out everything.
There you go.
Pat, what do you
nice
Pat,
little
what
sauna
tomorrow?
What am I going to do tomorrow? Before the game, probably be anxious. My anxiety levels are already increasing for this game, and just probably pace, watch football all day, and kind of just sit there, pick my nails, and until Sunday night.
Yeah, so a lot of nothing. Me too.
Yeah.
And real quickly, make sure you're following at Do Champions on Twitter.
This is going to be quick.
Well, if you for a second, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Do Champions for the giveaway of the Josh Allen Retro 90s jersey.
Oh yeah, shout out Goodberry.
Yeah, Glenn Goodberry did an amazing job on that. It truly does look better.
Applications out of Julie. Well, that is actually a good philanthropic endeavor that DeMar Hamlin and the Pagola family have tried to initiate in defibrillators. No, it's serious. I know everything I say is a joke
100%.
Because my life is a movie where nothing goes wrong. I just love that I felt community today when I was with Poncho's Army.
Yeah.
We weren't talking about the game. We were talking about what a time to be alive. What a time you chose to be alive. Pat, when can we expect to see you in Orchard Park, New York?
I will be up there for the Bills Chiefs game. That's already
very good. And hey, I was a naysayer, and Matt, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? I was a naysayer of the Mafia House, man. If you guys want a place of community, a place of philanthropic good, a place where it's good vibes only, stop by the Mafia House tomorrow. Go see Be Cool Fool, the president of Poncho's Army, an organization that I was newly inducted to. The vibes will be there because it's everything you need
and nothing you don't. Who we talking to, guys? Who we talking to?
Ooh, let me whip slide into this real quick. Hey, boys, we have a tradition here for any of the 1,600 people watching right now. We have a tradition where we speak honestly, we speak candidly, and we speak directly to a player, just wishing them well. We've done it now for 2 years. We pick a new player every single week, except if it's Alec Anderson. That's every day, bro. But Matt, who you talking to?
I'm actually going to talk to one of the rookies in Deion Walker, man. You are a big guy. You had a lot of promise before you hurt your back. Go back and let's prove to everybody out there that you are going to be that dancing bear, and that they've called you it all off season so far, and go out and prove why you were on Brandon Bean's first round in 2023 before you hurt your back.
Hey, Pat, who you talking to, big dog?
I am talking to Dalton Kincaid, a guy who, last year he was a part of that final play. He had that bad taste in his mouth, highly motivated heading into the offseason this year, and has shined in training camp. Now, he has not lived up to that first round pick, as we know, but the player's best ability is availability. So I'm just hoping that he stays healthy and go prove why you were worth that first round pick. Go make a name for yourself.
Go ahead and ask me.
Student, who are you talking to?
I'm talking to Jordan motherfucking Poyer. Inflict your goddamn will. I was nervous that you were so happy to go to Miami. Tax haven. I was nervous that maybe there's some scorn, maybe the culture wasn't that. But to hear him give his heart of hearts that this place is the one, remind people that this place is the one. You can do just as much good wearing a new Era cap as wearing a shut Axum F7. Inflict your will. Inflict your will. And don't let that ever let up. The standard is the standard is the standard. And I go like this because it's always been raised. Jordan Poyer, welcome back, big dog. Welcome back.
That was a good one.
The bills make me wanna kick your heels.
You've been listening to the Third and Manageable podcast. I am Student Body Off and Wrong. That is Matt Diegert. This is Pat Young Bruknis. It's going to feel good. Let's build it up a little bit. As we've ended so many shows so often, I'm going to warm up a little bit. You want to do it with me, Matt?
Let's do it.
1, 2, 3.
Hey,
Good to be seen.
Catch you guys later. For the best Italian food in Western New York, Elliot Apollos, call 716-825-3675. The Lardon Construction Group.
Fubo TV, the official streaming service of Do Champions. FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Do Champions.
For all your summertime needs, beauty pools, as well as kayak pools.
CX Chronicles, your total customer solutions focused manager. W.GG, the official energy drink of Do Champions.
Hey, Sons of Erie, our artwork looks better on your walls. Hamburg Brewing, please visit our tap room on Boston State Road, Hamburg, New York. And finally,
Fat Boy Surf Club for all your surfing needs.